Welcome, sisters. Welcome, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora and anywhere in the Caribbean and the world that happen to have the opportunity to listen to us. Welcome to our program On Target. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and RealFM 91.9 and 91.5. And you know, we never have a subject matter. We speak about anything, politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, and any topical issue of the day, we speak about it. But most important, you have the opportunity to introduce your own subject matter. This country is a democratic country. And in practice, we have been doing a good job. Post-1983, every election, within 24 hours, the side that lose concede defeat. And they never have enough irregularities to attempt to go to court. And that is good. Irrespective of the fact, sometimes you hear they crying that they lose, but there was some irregularities. It's just for the consumption of the members. The electoral system in Grenada is good, and it is well respected in the Caribbean. So you could feel comfortable about that. In addition to that, the previous government liberalized the telecommunication system. So you have a lot of medium, a lot of via where you could express yourself. And even if you hear people claiming that they're afraid to express themselves because of their jobs, I don't give that much weight. As a public officer, you must walk the straight and narrow. And you ought not to flaunt any political party, particularly if you are in the so-called established service and want to rise at the higher level. Otherwise, you could express yourself. And even if you lose your job, it is a small price to pay for the preservation of democracy. Everything have a cost. Some of our forefathers died for what we have today. They struggle. Uriah Buzz Butler went in prison, I think for 8 years. The British sent a battleship in Grenada for Eric Matthew Gary. So people die. About 6 people died in St. David's. A number of people was arrested, lost their job, and prosecuted for democracy. So even if you lose your job, it's a small price to pay. This morning, I got a post from Tilita. Tilita is a new convert to technology. She got a phone about 3 months ago. I am amazed to see the interest she put in the phone. The first thing she was playing, solitary. The game of cards, solitary, on the phone. But a little younger grandchild, a great-grand, helped her to put on WhatsApp. So since she gets WhatsApp, and she doesn't give me a rest. She does WhatsApp me every day. But this morning in particular, she sent me a WhatsApp. Help us to be considerate and kind. Grant that we may bring joy, not pain, to those we meet. For all of us is worthy in the sight of God. I know Tilita has always spoke a little scripture. But now she have the technology at her hand. Man, she aggressive with it. I'm encouraged. And I want to encourage you, the elderly outside there. Embrace your grandchildren and great-grandchildren or the neighbor's grandchildren. And let them help you use your cell phone. Let them help you use the technology. The technology is here to stay. It's not going away. In the war between Russia and Ukraine, Ukraine gets some cardboard drones from Australia, costing about $25,000 to make one. Cheap drones. And they was using it to do damage in the war. So technology is not going away. So you, the elderly, don't back down. Don't let nobody ram you in a corner. You have worked hard. You have paid your price. And now you must stand your ground. I know some of the language used in this present dispensation is insulting and demeaning, and unnecessary attacks have been placed on the elderly. But you must stand your ground. And like Tilita, you must embrace the technology. The technology is not going away. If you don't embrace it, it will become more complicated. The little children is better able than us. So embrace them. Let them help you to get onto Facebook and to get onto WhatsApp and to be able to send posts. Let them help you do that. You have to engage them. They will be excited and glad to help you. And maybe they could even record your stories for you that you want to write. Forget grammar. Just record it. Later on, you go fix grammar. We have to do better. And we have to believe that we could solve the challenges available. Particularly in this period, when we have a government that seems hostile against the elderly, when we have a government that has taken a policy position that is contributing to negative consequences against the elderly, against disadvantaged children, we must stand our ground. Don't back down. The men in particular, they seem to ignore everything and they following Mr. X. They licks in it. But encourage them to able to use the phone. They have the phone. They have money to buy a phone. But they don't have the wherewithal to use it. But the younger ones among us, the young children in primary school could help you. You see, they're using the tablet on a daily basis, and they could help you. So engage them in dialogue. The young and the elderly. They say when you go to a country, look at how they treat their youths, the young children, and look at how they treat the elderly. And then you know what kind of leaders you have. So I want you to remember Tilita post today. Help us to be considerate and kind, and grant that we may bring joy, not pain, to all we meet, to all who we meet. That is powerful. You have too much of sad faces in this country. Sometimes you have to ignore the economic situation and still bring joy to those you meet, not pain. We must do nothing to unnecessarily bring pain to people. Spread joy. When you enter a supermarket, a workplace, a government department, private sector, even the workers that are there, money is coming to you. People coming to buy. Show them a face that is welcoming. Bring joy, not pain, not discomfort, not hardship. Even the vagrants on the street. Remember, these vagrants is not America vagrants. It's not Europe vagrants or Chinese vagrants. It's Grenadian vagrants. So we have to be in a position to treat them better. To treat them as if them is one of us. By doing that, you may be able to change them. And by doing that, maybe the government might change their attitude, the manner in which they do those things, the way they do it. Because it seems to be bringing pain to too much people, not joy. Every time you select a government, you want the government to do better than the previous government. You want the government to do better than the previous government. The government would have had time while there was a government in waiting to look at what the previous government is doing, to correct their mistakes and do better. You don't want a government to do worse. This present regime is turning the hand of the clock back in a lot of ways. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Go right ahead, caller.
I'm real upset, I was listening to Sheldon Scott and that station. And what happened, they just turn in the thing and playing music.
When that happened?
Well, last night, and not only last night, a few times too. Yeah?
Oh, you was listening to Sheldon on this station?
Yeah, well, is everybody will listen phone?
Oh, so they didn't have the program last night?
Sheldon Scott was on his program, though, I tell you. And they just turned the station and playing music.
Oh, maybe they had some, I don't know what is the challenge.
So I would like Mr. Andrew Donald to check on that.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, this station brings the program, and a lot of people listen to the programs. And some people have their favorite programs and favorite radio stations that they listen to. And that is good. And all that comes about because you had a government, the previous government, that believed in freedom of expression and freedom of the press and freedom of information. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Caller, they talk the truth while they listening just after 9 last night, the music automatically comes on, so he doesn't have nobody in the studio tonight to regulate those things.
Yes, so maybe the programming or something.
So you automatically come back on. So if you could notify them for me and tell them what has happened sometime, because I made the favorite station, everybody listen at night, especially with Sheldon Scott.
All right, then. I'm going to draw it to the attention.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, caller. Yes, I believe we could change things in this country. And every time a government comes in, yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
yes,
good evening.
Yes.
What maybe could happen sometime if they lost contact on the program, because remember they pull in internet, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if they lost contact, they maybe have to play a music until they get contact with the program. So that's what maybe happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what maybe happened last night. Yeah, so when they lost or sometimes they could lose internet connection, and they kind of think so the person who controlling the program that night maybe could just play the little music until they maybe get connect back on, or sometimes they maybe didn't get connect back on, so they just have to continue playing the music. So that not maybe happened last night. I'm not too sure, but most of the time when they're having a radio program, they break and they transmit to pull another program. They pull in by internet. So sometimes something go wrong, they could lose internet connection and then kind of thing, and that's what has happened most of the time.
Yes, correct.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
And it's very important that this information, and that's why we say the younger ones have to help the elder ones. It's an exciting time, it's an exciting period in the world now, you know. But don't ignore the elderly. But it's not wise. You can learn quite a lot from them, and they could learn quite a lot from you because you are better able to address the technology. And now is an easier time to write their stories because you can do even an oral recording of the stories. Some of these elderly people have fantastic stories. about the life and the lifestyle and the experience. And might be a good challenge for the younger ones to record it orally and then write it. We need to continue to believe in ourselves, believe in our people, that we could address the challenges for. And we also have to lobby. We have to lobby our leaders to be more sensitive to the cries of our people, to be inclusive. You don't have good people and bad people in Grenada. All Grenadians is good people that does do bad things sometimes. All of us in Grenada are good people, but we just do bad things sometimes. So all Grenadians are good people. And the governments of the day have to understand that. We have to lobby the government. We have to talk to them. We have to beg them to be inclusive. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, I was listening to Jenny program where I didn't realize the Prime Minister land everybody so bad. I didn't realize he land sports people to where he promised them they go pay them to play sports and thing. Well, yeah, take them maybe they might divorce later on. Yeah, maybe yeah, take they don't touch yet because if I never knew the life for sports people and tell them to so they man check on every corner before you get that vote time. You know. And you look at any like he raise up all stone and see what he could get to copy something. That what you say is a pile of lie. And he gave reason how he could pay it. He said the National Lottery Authority what could pay for it, and now there are games to play here. The National Authority, they still, let us say they existing still, and they couldn't even use them to help. And the next year again, you have a guy also lime by radio station whole day, liming by radio station, unproductive. You just say you don't looking for work, you're trying to create nothing. And Carrico people take this man and put him in charge of a whole island and expect them for you to sometimes I have to laugh at what's wrong with our people sometimes, you know. A man unproductive, liming whole day by radio station every day. You don't want to do nothing on his own. Not even going to man a cow, man a sheep, nothing. And you take he and put him in charge of a whole island. No, he getting all this money. You think he go study you? When he just had only $2 in a account. But sometimes I just have to laugh at that. I say, well, something wrong with some people here, man. Some people, I don't know what happened, they don't think or not. Take care, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, it's sometimes difficult to understand. A lot of us don't obey no logic. We don't function with no logic. But yes, scholar, this Prime Minister have told more lies than any and all leaders put together in Grenada since 1967. In 2 years' time, this Prime Minister of ours in Grenada, the Honorable Dick Mitchell, have told more lies and more impactful lies than all leaders we have had in this country since 1967. He broke the record. This Prime Minister is also the most corrupt Prime Minister that have come across this country. In 2 years. Why do I say that? They have plundered. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
A very interesting development which I just heard on the news there, well, authentic station for sure, GBN, that 20 workers is going to be reinstated, or maybe has been reinstated, in the Gamba estate, or on the Gamba estate, and 8 on the Montreal estate. So it seems like they have listened to at least you and come to the senses and is doing something about it, which is interesting.
Well, that's
another issue. Go ahead.
I said that's good news.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. It's interesting, good news, yeah. Another issue. I've been talking about the invitational issue and the embarrassment that I think it caused for Grenada in a given situation. And looking at my Facebook page, I see a very prominent journalist and who even turned politician, saying basically the same thing I was saying or I've been saying about the issue of the embarrassment that it has caused. And it needs to be understood that the government should have taken up that issue. And up to this point, they have not even issued a statement relative to it. They should have taken up that issue to avoid the embarrassment that this thing is causing for Grenada. When you had ESPN hired to promote Grenada Invitational, athletes were invited, bookings would have been made. People would have come like what we would call now sports tourists to the country. They would have had to cancel, whether it is the hotels, the restaurants would have been prepared a certain way. They would have had to abandon the idea. And up to this moment, you have not heard a statement coming from the government in relating to the issue. And it's interesting, like I said, Ray Roberts is pointing out, recognizing the same thing I've been pointing out, that this thing has caused a big embarrassment to Grenada, so we need to clarify that thing. Government need to make a statement on that. And like I keep saying to people, if it was the previous government that was there, that would have never been let to happen, because the significance of it would have been understood very well. And I'm hearing also too that government was approached about the issue before the company flopped or the franchise flopped. And they did nothing about it in the real sense. Even though I understand they made promise and in the end did nothing. People need to understand the significance on that. But it's interesting, like I was pointing out earlier on, that they reinstate workers, 20 in the Granbury, on the Granbury estate, about 8 on the Montreal estate. Very interesting. Take care, sir.
Yes, they got rid of 31 workers there. And based upon our information, 19 of them was strong NDC supporters. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How
Yes,
are you?
great man, good man.
You good?
Yeah, man, good. Good to hear your voice.
Great. It's interesting how we can read things and come away with different, we read things and receive them differently. The caller before mentioned the article done by Ray Roberts on Facebook, and they're making the same observation about it being an embarrassment. But that was only part of what he said. To me, that whole article attempted to shift blame on the organizers, you know, to the point of even referring to them as novices. It was a crafty, underneath, hypocritical article attempting to shift blame on the organizers. I read it 5 times just to ensure that I removed my emotional or whatever bias I may have. And every time I read and I reread, how I felt was strengthened. How could these organizers be novices?
That's not a thought of foot.
The same organizers who planned the Invitational in 2017, 2018, 2019. There's probably only one person absent from the team. But all of these people who were there were the same people. So we are saying a lot of things, and part of the reason for that is the absence of information. So at some point, it is critical that we hear, you know, what caused the breakdown, or, you know, how we're going to fix it, because sometimes we go back to the problem too, might just create more ruckus. But all we seem to be doing is to be shifting blame in the area where we want to point the blame, but not objectively looking at the situation. So that article really was not highlighting that we should be embarrassed. Yeah, he mentioned that in passing, but there's a letter of a letter, and there's a tone of a letter, you know? And maybe I read too much and think too much, but that Ray Roberts article was nothing but an attempt to just bash the organizers.
Yeah.
Yep, have a good one.
Yes, thank you. And it's very unfortunate and sad. And to saying the organizers are immature, novice, well, you could say that, but they were the ones who did it. Number 1, number 2, number 3. In addition to that, the government of Grenada have been a significant sponsor of the organization. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pierre, I know I'm ashamed and I'm embarrassed of this government. No, because everything coming up from the mouth is a lie. But I felt more embarrassed of the GBN and MTV, because when I wanted to listen what happened to the games were going to be held, the international games going to be held in the stadium, when I wanted to listen to them, GBN and MTV did not put much emphasis on it. So they just say it once and they put it down to me. If they said it more than once, I'd never heard them. But I was listening to them on the news and they never put much emphasis on it. Right? They just pass it on. If it was the previous government, lambasted the previous government, they would have called him all names, right? And you don't want to put Grenada forward. But right now, Grenada is in the hand. And what they do, instead of pushing Grenada forward, and the people and the young people, they're making a mess out of it. Because as far as I'm concerned, they are no good. They are no good for Grenada. It is a shame. The people who vote for them. Oh, God, I felt so embarrassed. Mr. P, have a nice day. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Yes, the government of Grenada, from day one, has been a significant sponsor of the event. Even if the initiative was private. I remember listening to some individual when they said the discussion was with Patrick Simmons. And he told them, go to the government, go to the prime minister. They're going to support that. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller. Caller, call back. He was certain, absolutely certain, that the government could grapple with that. And let us go back in the 70s, when Dr. Mordecai applied to a number of Caribbean countries, Barbados, Jamaica, because he wanted to open a university, a medical university in an English-speaking country in the Caribbean. Months he waiting on a response from them. He read an article that this small island called Grenada was to be independent on 7th February 1974. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, we lost this caller again. And he immediately wrote to the government. Within 1 week, the government responded to Dr. Mordecai, and the man was out to Grenada. Within 1 week, Eric Gary recognized, I don't letting this idea pass. Let me explore this idea. And immediately the university, the St. George's University was born. And irrespective of brimstone and fire, Gary continued. The objection to the university came from the opposition. Maurice Bishop, Mr. Blaze and the group, the University of the West Indies, the intelligentsia in Grenada, the Caribbean. They objected to Grenada having a university. The opposition said in Parliament they would not be even able to perform in Pitimatnik. We learned the word cadaver because they start to call those Gary rights cadaver. They say Gary go sell all of you dead bodies to the university. In those days, you had to run in dictionary to find out what cadaver mean. Every time current went out in the country and current used to go regular, they said dead bodies they bring in. Irrespective of that, today, The University of the West Indies contribute more than 20% of the GDP. That was leadership that was prepared to take risk in the name of development. The idea for the Grenada Invitational was an NNP idea. It appears it came from the heart of individuals involved in the NDC. And Patrick Simmons says it's a good idea. The NNP under Kit Mitchell is going to support it. And he was correct. So the government of Grenada recognized the Grenada Invitational would have significant economic impact on our country. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, do you know, you have a kind of conclusion, what they send to the people? I find them the stadium free. And $3 million. And they refuse it.
I don't know. I don't hear any. I mean, caller.
The invitation of them is children. Novice.
All right, thank you. You see, when information is not provided to the public, rumors and speculation is going to run wild. We personalities on the radio have been trying to temper the rumors we're hearing, but with patience running out. So the government must provide information. The Grenada Invitational had economic impact. And the government of Grenada was expected to be the biggest sponsor. Because the group that stand to benefit the most is the government of Grenada. ESPN was involved. 142 countries advertising the meet. The government celebrating 50 years of independence. $22.5 million was budgeted for the independence celebration. So even if the government had to put $2 million in that organization, they should have done it. If the government felt that the organizing body was not strong enough, they should have lobbied to have somebody involved in the organizing body. If they felt there were problems with finance, they should bring in one of the financial czars from the Ministry of Finance. And we have. Remember, straight from finance, we got Timothy Antoine. And I am convinced we have a lot more Timothy Antoine in the Ministry of Finance. I am pleased. And I'm happy with the Ministry of Finance. We have a number of young people there with a master's degree. So there was no question that the government could say, we are celebrating 50 years, we like your idea, but we find your structure is weak. So we're going to get 2% on the committee, one from finance. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I didn't hear directly what the gentleman said.
Thank God.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Well, yes, so I don't want to comment on it if you didn't hear.
Well, I want to comment on it.
No, don't comment on it if you didn't hear.
I thought you said. But to me, I even heard you say something about $3 million.
Caller, don't comment on that if you don't hear, because we don't hear that from any official.
Well, you see,
that could be a distraction for the program. Don't take this bait.
A distraction for the program.
Yes, you see how I know it.
Are you telling me that he's been paid to distract?
No, you don't have to be paid. You could call a program and distract the program. You just show something and everybody run behind it.
When people make this,
don't take this bait. Don't
like
take
that,
the bait.
You know, it's something that it cause concern, because if if that's what he said, and if that have truth, then the government have a right to put out a release. If what he say is true, then the government have a right to put out a release. So I think if it's that he said, he missing part to tell us. So he still have to go back on it, because I can't see how government how he could get that information.
Don't take that bait.
All right. Well,
don't take that bait.
I'm concerned about it in any case.
Yeah.
But secondly, the parliament opened today. They had parliament today. I'm not sure if.
What is the issue they're debating?
Right. That's what I'm about to say. I'm not sure if it's one issue they had, but the parliament closed at 12 o'clock already.
But what is the issue they were debating?
The argument they had, the bill that they passed is to allow electronics, the judges and the magistrate to take the statements electronically, because what happens is that the judge and the magistrate have to write statements coming from people that have been questions, and it takes a long time for the judges to write in ordinary handwriting, and then when you have to read over that and make
that has been going on.
So they are saying that they are passing that bill where you could use electronic system, and I think that's very good, first class. I praise the government for that. But
Caller, you understand? Caller.
Yeah.
You understand you got a copy of the bill and you understand this thing?
That's why I said I didn't hear.
Well, if you don't,
but I'm saying in terms of the speeding up the amount of times the judges and magistrates have to write, I think it is a good system. So I'm supporting it from that angle, right? Because if the judges have to write and the magistrates have to write statements coming from individual personnel, it will take a long time, and sometimes the person have to do the transcript, may not able to read all what the magistrate and judges write. So I'm saying it from that angle, it is a good thing, right? Because when you have to read people's writing, it is not easy at times to read other person's writing. So that I praise it, but I did not get the details. As I said.
That is what is dangerous, you know. Caller, that is what is dangerous in the country when you don't get the fine print. And Caller, we have to be very careful, you know. A lot is going on now without the fine print.
Yes, I wouldn't know that.
And what we're doing,
well, let us understand.
What we're doing, Caller, is to give public support, and we don't know the fine print.
Yeah, but the people that have to debate that were there. The opposition personnel was there. Mr. Peter David get up and praise it, and nobody condemned it. So the fact remains is they are the persons, both the opposition and the leading the government. They are the ones that have to educate the nation. And
well, I'm waiting for the education.
Well,
I'm waiting for the bill.
I too waiting for it.
Well, and then jumping, go on and support this thing and then.
No.
This government is telling us what a lies.
Mr. Pierre, not jumping.
This government is sitting on and plan lies.
The bill is already passed in the upper house,
in the lower house.
Right.
Okay.
It has already passed by all
right.
present. So I'm not jumping. It is almost legal already, because you're going to go through the upper house.
You don't legal yet. You have to go in the upper house.
No, I say it's almost.
Don't almost, Caller. You have to go in the upper house. And if it is objecting in the upper house, they could only object to it once.
Yes. Once the two houses accept it, it becomes law.
Right.
My thing is that I find the parliament is wasting a lot of time by going just in for one bill, and then you close parliament. I think that is waste of people's time. I'm concerned about that also. You know, there's a lot of questions to be asked to the parliament, and they seem to evading those questions and answers.
Okay.
You know, so it is a cause for concern. So while I'm praising something, I'm seeing the wrong in certain parts.
Well, you have to, Caller, you in tongue long.
Yeah. So
and Caller, you in tongue long.
Yes, I in tongue long.
And if you want to praise something, make certain you know what you're praising. Because this government has been very deceptive. This
I accept
government
that.
tried to trick everybody, you know. They trick old people. They trick disadvantaged people. They trick the Imani. They trick even children. This government has tricked so much people.
Mr.
I
Pierre,
am not taking anything for granted with
that is why I said that I praise part of it and I comment on the other part.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello? Yes. Mr. Pierre, we cannot support something which we don't fully understand.
A lot of people in the
Right?
world
And
support a lot of things they don't understand.
Agree.
Difference of
And we
opinion.
must agree. And we must agree, and I must agree with what the statement you make. Now, if not the government passing something, even though they pass it in the lower house, and when they pass it, them doesn't, even though the opposition speak and the opposition educating, sometimes because they had a majority, them passing it, you know, do you think they're listening to the opposition and they're listening to anybody? They passing it. So whether you good and them kind of a thing, when you don't think up with the fine print and all that kind of thing, that's what make it dangerous, as you rightfully said. You understand? So we cannot just hear something, don't understand it and supporting it and giving positive opinion on certain thing, what you don't really know much about. We have to listen, get information, go deep into it, according to Carl. You have to go deep sea diving into certain things before you fully understand and before you give public explanation. We cannot just give an explanation on something that we don't fully understand. And because government passed it, you go just say you support it and you find it is good and you don't know everything what's going on behind the scenes. You cannot take something and go with it just like that. We have to be very careful what we believe and the way we and the road way we trod. Right? Thank you very much.
Yes, scholar. The economic impact of the Grenada Invitational. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm back again a little bit. Relative to the invitational enterprise, and I'm now talking about, I want to talk a little bit about the franchise. That means that the business aspect of that, we'll call it a company. There have been emphasis made by people, including Ray Roberts, who is my very good friend. And Ray Roberts and I just chat when we meet, very well, all the years. There are those who are emphasizing the fact that it is a private enterprise. Yes, it is a private enterprise. But the significance of it is what I like to emphasize more. In that, the reputation it could bring to Grenada. So what we have lost as a result of losing the franchise, along with the games itself. I didn't miss the fact that Ray is blaming the franchise for not letting the or not having the games coming on. But remember, Ray is a politician who even ran for the NDC party. Don't miss that point. So Ray would do his best, and I saw he did his best, to not blame the government in this present situation. But I didn't miss that point. What I just did in bringing it up, that the fact that there are those along with me, and I know you see it. I listen to Carl recognizes it too. And there are others who have seen it too. There's one caller who particularly emphasized it, just like me too, on the program on Friday, I think it was, yeah. I didn't hear the program Sunday because of activities, and then the reception wasn't good. But the thing is, there are those who recognize the embarrassment, those who want to emphasize the fact that it is a private enterprise that did the business aspect of it. That could be dismissed because of the fact that when people do it that way, they are making politics. When I emphasize, for example, and whoever is emphasizing the embarrassment, that's not necessarily politics, you know. Those who don't want to take the blame or blame the government for it, they might be doing it based on political biasness. But when you recognize the lack of understanding that comes from the administration, the word neophyte applies squarely, and a set of, well, you might say lazy people too. I think they are just simply lazy. They don't know how to think. They cannot see things beyond a certain point. They are so narrow-minded, and they are so ineffectual in getting things done. Because at the same time, the press release that was issued by the enterprise, the business people, or the business side of it, because they had a board meeting and they did a press release after it. It was emphasized over and over and over is because of the economic situation in the country. You know? And this is why it is so significant. So you get rid of politics and you see the thing for what it is, and it shows the incompetence of the government in this given situation. I'm not playing politics with that. Ray would have played politics, so you wouldn't want to blame the government. And whoever is doing it, I spoke on that on another radio station. And I remember the host particularly wanted me to elaborate on that as to whether it is a private enterprise or government owned. It is a private enterprise, but understanding the significance of the game in the name of sports tourism, the exposure that Grenada would have gotten and has gotten as a result, because ESPN internationally known is chosen, or was chosen, sorry, to bring the games. That was done before already. Grenada got endless exposure. A whole lot of people came for the games. That's significant part of it is what I like to emphasize.
Yes.
So too bad for who don't want to accept it.
Thank you.
Take care, sir.
The economic importance of the Grenada Invitational. This group of government here, the NDC, always have this problem following them. They are not risk takers for the development of the country. They are not risk takers for the development of the country. And you could go back way back in the 70s with Eric Gary and the university, St. George's University. Dr. Mordecai, within 1 week he responded. And the bell tolled. And we have the university now. When they went to Kit Mitchell recognized this is a private initiative. But yes, we on board. Yes, we on board. The individuals had no doubt. They was able to communicate with government on a regular basis all the way, and government say yes, we on board. This is the 3 times they had that activity. So the first time, they were neophytes. The second time, they got more practice. The third period, they were successful. These individuals could be considered practically expert. But the government is a significant player in that arena. Even if the government is not, the initiative didn't come from them, but they are a significant sponsor. And because of the level of sponsorship expected from the government could practically dictate, we don't satisfy with this and that, we will strengthen you by sending somebody from finance. And our men in finance, they're good. That is the area where Timothy Antoine come out. Richard Duncan come out there too. The only individual that I believe could register some hope for this group of vultures is Dennis Cornwall. He come out in finance too. Finance have a number of young individuals at the highest level of education. They are masters. When you are masters, you don't even want to go for PhD. PhD is for publication. So the government of Grenada had to recognize the economic importance, sports tourism. In this, today we have an upsurge in violence. This was a good program for young people, to rally the young people. Our sports people could have an opportunity to rub shoulders with the international individuals. In addition to that, you're celebrating 50 years. You bring drones. Even though people don't agree, they say, well, yes, you bring drones. You put light on the carriage. Even people find out a waste of time, they don't criticize you. When people have celebration, they just get excited. Particularly individuals that inherit money. You meet a treasury pregnant. And you meet a CBI program that is exciting and bearing fruits. Although you criticize it relentlessly. You squander opportunity. The government of Grenada squander opportunity. And you're hearing all kind of things. And I'm not putting it beside because the government introduced restorative justice. One of the things I'm hearing that some of the individuals on the committee had green blood. So the level of communication between them and the government was always wanting. The government forget the impact. And I've been saying that for months since the government introduced restorative justice and set up a ministry for political mischief. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes, my brother.
In the interest of time, I'll be very short. Now, Mr. Pierre, when I listen to you, I realize that you just be quite critical of the revolution. Now, you are very critical of this administration. When you say that this is the worst government we have since independence, now, based on what transpired during the revolution and the violent end of the revolution, putting all of that together, are you still going to tell us today? I want to answer this question when I hang up. Are you going to tell us today, putting all what transpired during the revolution and the violent end, are you prepared to tell me that this government, under the leadership of our present Prime Minister Dick Mitchell, are you saying that they are worse than all of these things combined together? That's the question I'm asking you, sir.
These present individuals tell more lies than the revolution and all the others. They tell more lies. These present individuals are more corrupt than any individuals in the revolution. Those individuals in the revolution was trying to live frugal lives. They wasn't onto gala lives. They had an ideology which was counterproductive. And the end didn't justify the means. But the individuals themselves was not corrupted by gala life. It's a bit, and yes, they told lies. But this government sitting on and plan lies. The lies are impactful. This government is not preoccupied with initiatives that are going to bring remarkable success to our country. If they were, they would have seen the Grenada Invitational for its economic importance. They would have seen here we have an opportunity to rally young people in the direction of sports. You see, all other governments in the past operated with belt-tightening issues. They didn't have money. All other government in the past was scraping and raking. This government came into power and meet a treasury pregnant and meet a CBI program that is bearing fruits. They don't know what to do with it. It's a greedy group of vultures. Now, we want to close our eyes and don't look at these things. Some of the actions the government is taking that have negative consequences on people in the lower income group is not because the government don't have money. You know. The government have the money. But it's because of the vindictive policies of the government. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good evening.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, it is very sad to say that when you get plenty money, you lavish, you squander. You know, when a parent leave money for a child inheritance, the child does not work or to show good interest in the money, to put the money into good use and proper use. They lavish the money until the money done, and then they're going to start having problems. Yes, it's a similar situation that exists today in Grenada. Now, I recall when they had the structural adjustment after 2013 election, it was tough on Grenadians. Tough. Taxes has been high, but eventually they put a bond across or a level of taxes that will not escalate or go below, so that they had a threshold, so to speak, for people to pay taxes on. And people was able to achieve the goal still, while the cost of living was up. But today, you don't have a level of threshold, but taxes has been accumulated, and some people is crying out that it has not get paid for 4 or 5 months. I don't know if they're sabotaging, as one union leader said, or it is because the work is not properly established, but you make money that could have paid everybody.
Yes, caller, thank you. You have to call us tomorrow. We come to the end of the program, and going back to the question the individual asked. The revolution was not good. The revolution, definitely the ideology of the revolution contributed to 3,000 people being in prison. We must never accept that. If we accept that, we're likely to cause these things to happen. This government now is the only government that came into power and was not under economic duress. They did not have a current expenditure challenge. We come to the end of the program, so we will start back tomorrow right where we stopped today. And you can come with your call. And caller, you could call back and continue your. Thank you very much.